At the beginning of the movie, we learn that Detective Jerry is about to retire. On his last day, his colleagues throw him a surprise lunch at a restaurant. The man looks genuinely moved. Meanwhile, a guy riding a snowmobile through the woods runs over something under the crust of snow. There is blood. A car sits nearby, and a strange-looking man bolts to it from the thicket and drives away. At Jerry's lunch, they give him a certificate for a fishing trip to Mexico. He thanks everyone, but he's clearly upset about the idle life ahead. The young man, meanwhile, heads into the woods and finds a dead little girl in a red dress. Suddenly, Jerry watches his co-workers in the restaurant spring to their feet after a phone call. They tell him about the crime, reminding him that he's already retired. Jerry answers that there are still 6 hours left in his workday. He arrives at the scene. The girl is about 8. She was killed brutally and possibly assaulted. Jerry suggests lifting fingerprints from the buttons on the child's clothes. The officers can't bring themselves to break the news to Ginny's parents, local farmers. Jerry is forced to do it. The mother says that on that day, her daughter was supposed to be in town with her own mom, practicing music. From there, the girl always walked back to the farm on her own. The detective advises the parents not to look at the child yet, because even for seasoned forensics people, it was unbearable. For the funeral, they'll make her up so she looks as if she simply fell asleep. He promises to find the monster. The mother makes him swear the salvation of his soul on a little straw cross that Ginny made. The police detain the owner of the car the kid saw. He is a Native American, and he already served time for assaulting a woman. Theft and contraband. Toby's record is a mile long. On top of that, he has a mental disorder. The man claims he was trapping beavers. And investigator Stan plants the idea that he abused the girl. Jerry is told they found candy wrappers in the Native American's car, and the child had chocolate in her stomach. The native man is led away, but he snatches a gun from the escort and kills himself. In the morning, Jerry is getting ready to fly to Mexico for fishing. He watches news about the investigation at the airport, and he stays. The man drives into town to see the girl's grandmother. The lady says her granddaughter didn't come that day, and she wasn't at school either. She says they usually practiced piano, then the little one went to the store for sweets, and they read books together. After that, the girl's friend tells Jerry that Ginny had a giant friend. She called him the magician, and he gave her porcupines. The girl even drew him. The retired detective urges Stan to reopen the investigation because he feels something is off, but Stan just waves him away. Then Jerry asks at least to give him information on similar cases over the last 10 years. The former colleague agrees. They find data on 2 girls similar to Ginny in looks and age. Jerry visits the detective who worked at the first case. The signature matches, and the victim's dress was red there too. Nothing like that happened again in the area. So they decided the killer was a stranger passing through. The Native American couldn't have done it, since he was in prison. In the second case, the girl has been listed as missing for 3 years. The former cop goes to the nursing home where her father works. The man is sunk in grief and offers no leads at all. Jerry returns and shows his former colleagues Ginny's drawing of the giant. He stresses that the man is white, not native, and the car is different, a black one. But the cops don't want to reopen the case. However, Jerry doesn't give up. He rents a cabin at a resort not far from the murder sites. One day, he drives to a roadside store with a gas pump and offers to buy the place, but the owner refuses. The resort owner learns he's a policeman. She says there's no such thing as former in this line of work. She tells him the gas station owner called and wanted to talk. The man sells him the business and the house next door and leaves with his granddaughter for Arizona. Jerry settles into the new gig and sets out his things. A heavy rain begins. He closes the station and runs to the cafe to meet the locals. The waitress, Lori, already also knows he's an ex-cop. The man has a drink and plays darts alone. No one strikes up a conversation with him. In the morning, in good spirits, Jerry serves a customer and suddenly sees a black SUV at the pump. He fills the tank and, out of the corner of his eye, watches the driver. It's a harmless elderly man, but the former cop, just in case, memorizes his plate. Jerry tries to distract himself from Ginny's death, but lines from a book surface in his mind, the ones her grandmother recited, that when a girl dies, an angel descends from heaven, embraces her, then spreads his wings and carries her past the places she loved to be. Jerry goes to a psychologist with Ginny's drawings, trying to understand whom to look for. The doctor says the girl could have made it all up. The man points out the car is drawn plausibly, and a tall, sturdy man could have looked like a giant to a child. The psychologist says drawings tell you not about the people depicted, but only about the artist, the girl herself. For example, porcupines are gifts she accepts, which means she trusts the man. She also notes that the gaps between child murders are shrinking, and a new victim is possible in the coming months. The psychologist suddenly starts asking about Jerry himself, how long he's been retired, whether he's always smoked a lot, if he's still sexually active, whether there's excessive sweating, and if he ever hears voices. The man hides his condition. In the morning, he goes to the cafe. The waitress is slammed and only manages to call out to her daughter, who's drawing at a table, not to forget her juice. Outwardly, the girl resembles the previous victims. Jerry tries to chat with the little one, but she immediately calls for her mom. Laurie walks the girl to the school bus and tells the man that Chrissy will be 8 soon. Suddenly, behind the school bus, Jerry spots a car, and in it, Ginny's parents. The man orders breakfast and asks Laurie where he can buy used furniture. She says there's a flea market not far from town, but it's hard to find because of the dirt roads. Jerry asks her to come along, and the next day they drive out, taking Chrissy with them. The man buys the girl a pink balloon. They pick out furniture, get distracted, and suddenly Laurie sees the balloon floating up into the sky, and her daughter is gone. Soon they find Chrissy on the swings. She shows off a gift from another little girl, a shoe sponge shaped like a porcupine. It turns out a local craftswoman makes them. Jerry drives over to see her. The woman sits in a wheelchair. She asks whether he's a believer. Jerry says he's a Baptist, but he doesn't go to church, and he's been divorced twice. The woman starts praising her son Harry because he's simply a gift from the Almighty. He takes care of her and is hardworking. Construction in the summer and snow removal in the winter. He preaches at the local church, but he has no wife or children. Jerry drives off, and a car heads toward him. As they draw even, the driver flashes a broad smile and says, "God bless you," while religious hymns drift from the radio. That's Harry. In the evening, the ex-cop closes his little store and makes himself dinner. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. He calls out that it's late and he's closed. But the visitor is persistent. It turns out it's Laurie, her face covered in blood, barely able to speak from fear. Her ex-husband beat her, and she was so terrified that she grabbed her daughter and drove to Jerry. He is a policeman after all. They tuck the girl into bed, and Laurie pours her heart out. If her husband is jailed, he won't be able to pay child support. And he exploits that impunity and raises his hands at her. Jerry offers for Laurie and her daughter to stay with him, emphasizing that he won't make a pass at her. The only thing is, she can help around the house in return. In the morning, the woman moves her things in. In the evening, they sit by a bonfire on the shore, and Chrissy asks her mom about a new tooth to replace the one that was knocked out. The woman finds the strength to joke and smile. Winter sets in. Jerry sips coffee at the gas station and watches a hockey game with total focus, while outside, Chrissy is building a snowman, and Laurie is buried in work at her cafe. A truck pulls up on the street, and a man in an orange work suit approaches Chrissy. He's the craftswoman's son. He asks whether such a wonderful snowman has a name, and if he guesses it, will the girl tell him her own name? The girl nods. The man suggests putting a hat on the snowman so he won't freeze. Jerry tears his eyes from the TV and sees something awful. A stranger is standing beside Chrissy, and the man is asking the girl whether her mom has told her about God. Jerry decides to keep an eye on them. A minute later, the truck driver leaves. The former cop goes back to work, fuels cars, and memorizes the plates of black vehicles. It's Christmas Eve. Jerry reads to Chrissy in bed, while Laurie gathers up gift wrapping. She looks at the man with the little one and starts to cry. Jerry comforts her, and the woman suddenly kisses his hand and strokes his face. The man is embarrassed, and Laurie kisses him. They spend the night together. In the spring, Jerry assembles a swing for Chrissy by the road. Laurie wonders why not behind the house. He answers that this way they can always keep an eye on the girl from the store. Laurie now works there too. They go to a fair and buy Chrissy a red dress. Suddenly, Jerry sees that same young guy who found Ginny in the woods. In the morning, he fuels cars as usual, keeping watch over Chrissy. And suddenly, he sees Harry hand her something and then hurry off in his truck. But it's only a little cross, and the man invited the child to church. One day, Jerry comes home with a catch and learns that Laurie let her daughter go to a kids' party at church. The man doesn't want to scare the woman, but he quietly grabs a pistol and races to the chapel. He bursts in, ready to shoot the maniac, and it's just a service. Sometime later, Chrissy tells him she saw the magician, but he asked her not to tell her parents. He gave her candies, and tomorrow will bring more to the picnic glade, along with porcupines. Jerry allows her to go, but asks her to keep it secret. And the next day, Jerry's former colleagues and a SWAT team watch the girl in the woods. A black car with a porcupine keychain heads toward the forest. And in the town's gift shop, a woman is looking for porcupine-shaped candies that a certain Oliver misplaced. Suddenly, Jerry breaks from the stakeout. It all seems wrong to him. Stan says he's had enough, and they drive off. Laurie picks up Chrissy, and she is furious because Jerry lied to her and put her daughter at risk. The man can't find the words. On the way, his colleagues see a black car engulfed in flames, wrecked in a crash. Sometime later, the ex-cop sits at his now abandoned gas station, drinking and repeating, "She said he would come." This is the end of the film. Thank you all for watching this video to the end. Give this video a like. Write in the comments what you think about this film, and see you in new videos.